Hi, this is Frederick from Avassa. In this video, we'll talk a bit about GPUs and how to share GPUs between tenants. First, let's start off here. So here I'm logged in as the site provider of this in this Avassa system. To instruct the system to actually look for GPUs, you can go down here into System and look at Settings. So here the system is instructed to create an any label for any GPU, and that's going to apply to any GPU that it finds. You can make other settings here to look for certain GPUs, but in this case we're looking for any GPU in the that we can find on the edge system. So going back to sites, selecting the Stockholm site, and momentarily here you will actually see that we have found a GPU and created that GPU any label. So that means that on one of the three hosts in the cluster we have found a specific GPU. So let's click on this host, and if I scroll down here you can actually see that we have found a Tesla M60 GPU with 8 gigs of RAM on the GPU. Furthermore, it's important, since we're going to deploy applications that's going to utilize the GPU, it's important that our scheduler actually takes that into consideration. So later when we look at the application specification and it says I need to run on a host that has a GPU, the scheduler will make sure that the application runs on this particular host where the GPU is present. So let's talk a bit about multi-tenancy. Not every tenant gets access to hardware resources like GPUs and devices by default. So to give a tenant access, let's look at tenants here. Today we're going to look at app owner 1 and app owner 2. And in order to give app owner 1 access to this NVIDIA GPU, we have actually told the system to assign it this resource profile. So this instructs the system that this tenant should have access to this particular GPU on those hosts. So now I'm going to go to a different browser. I'm going to go to my Brave browser, and in this browser I'm actually logged in as this particular app owner 1, and I can see that I have access to the Stockholm site. So looking at this application, this is a very simple application. It's a test container from NVIDIA called VectorRad, and that actually assumes that there is a CUDA device available. And furthermore, I've actually deployed this to the Stockholm site, and if I go down here I can actually see that this particular container is running on the host with the GPU. So let's do this. Let's go to containers. I'm going to open up a terminal in here, and I'm going to go into bash just to get tab completion. So in the temp directory here there is actually this test program called VectorRad. So running this, I can see that it worked, test passed. I can also run NVIDIA SMI. And here we can again see from inside the container that we have access to the Tesla M60 GPU device. So that kind of proves that we can share this GPU with our tenants and they can get applications up and running that utilizes that. Now I'm gonna log out from this tenant. I'm gonna log in as Okay, so now I'm logged in as app owner 2. Again, I have access to the Stockholm site. I have the same application here, but I've not deployed it yet. So let's create a deployment for this application and see what happens. So now I'm deploying this, and as you can see, I get an error, no GPU match. So going back to applications here, the system tells me that it can't run this application because there is no GPU match. So what's going on here? We know that that the Stockholm site actually has a GPU. Let's go back in here, and going back into tenants, I'm actually going to look at app owner 2. And here you can see that app owner 2 actually doesn't have access to the GPU. So compare this one to this one, where we actually have, where app owner 1 has access to the GPU while app owner 2 doesn't. So let's change that. Let's give this tenant access to the GPU, and we update this. And now I'm going to go back into the Brave browser. And here you can see things are already kicked off. So now I'm actually up and running again. So by changing the resource profile and giving this application tenant access to this GPU, now the application is up and running. And again, we can quickly go into the container here and do the same test just to make sure that everything is working. So let's run the vector add test and look at the NVIDIA. So again, this tenant also now have access to the Tesla GPU. So hopefully that gives you an idea of how to declare a GPU to the system, i.e. how to instruct the system to look for GPUs, and also how to control which of your tenants gets access to that particular GPU. Thank you.